Hey everybody! So it turns out you guys really liked the first episode of Sex Education, which is so exciting because that means I am going to keep vlogging about it. So episode 2 starts out with yet again another very intense, borderline cringeworthy teen sexual encounter. This particular one's going pretty disastrously because she needs the lights off in order for them to fuck, and he's fumbling around and then they're like bumping into each other, and then one of them falls over, knocks things off, and the parents here and they like walk in on them, and it's just like, oh, every teen's worst nightmare. Then we're back to Otis. He's listening in at the vent, overhearing his mom's sex therapy sessions. He's gearing up for his first day at school, like, you know, as a sex therapist. It's very precious. And then he asks his mom what makes a good therapist. She gives him some like very sage advice, but then immediately jumps into, what romantic comedy are we gonna watch tonight? Kate Hudson or Julia Roberts?
But more importantly, Roberts or Hudson?
Roberts.
Okay.
Roberts it is.
And I'm just kind of obsessed with the fact that they have this kind of relationship where they sit at home and watch rom-coms together. My heart, just die of happiness right now. It's fine. Then Otis and Eric are leaving for school, and on their way out, they spot one of the guys from the last episode, one of Jean's sexual partners, and he's moseying on down the walk with some flowers. This is maybe my favorite scene in all of Sex Education, so I might have to put the whole thing in there.
Hello?
Harry.
Harry. Sorry, I'm bad with names. What can I do for you, Harry?
Well, I was just passing through and I thought maybe we could pop and get a bit of breakfast together.
I'm about to teach a vagina workshop. So, no? I'm really sorry if I gave you the wrong impression. I'm not interested in dating anyone. I'm extremely busy with work and raising my son, and I just have no room in my life for the kind of intimacy that you are clearly craving. But I really commend you on your directness and your bravado, and I really hope that you find what you're looking for. Goodbye now.
Her boundaries are incredible. Her outfit is incredible. Two very important things that I strive for genuinely on a daily basis. And she just like pulls it off like it's no big deal. Like, okay, Jean, I see you. So then Otis and Eric get to school, and Maeve calls him to like talk over the sex therapy clinic stuff, and Otis freaks the fuck out. He's completely unable to speak to her, and it's actually like one of the cutest things I've ever seen.
Hello? That I feel clammy. Okay.
Like the genuine humor and humanness of the humor in the show is just like 10 out of 10. But Eric's pretty much like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? And Otis like tells him all about the sex therapy clinic idea. Eric's like so on board, but Otis is just, you know, I think very overwhelmed. He doesn't know what to do. He's not sure if he wants to like jump into this with Maeve. He clearly like likes her and feels nervous around her. But Eric's like, yo, this could make us popular.
I don't want to be popular. I just want to be a guy in the corner that no one knows, you know, and they say, who's that guy? And they go, he's just a guy in the corner.
Honestly, Otis, I have never related more to anything in my entire life. But Eric's like really pushing for it. He's like, man, you gotta do this. And then he makes some really awesome commentary about Maeve that I really have to include in this because it is just so profound.
She's not popular, she's scary.
Yeah, exactly. She's better than popular because she's cool. And she's the best kind of cool because no one in this place even knows it yet.
Eric, you are such a wise baby angel. But anyway, it turns out that Maeve has found Otis his first client, and she arranges for them to meet in the bathrooms during their break. Break rolls around, Otis meets with this girl who's like in the popular clique, and she's vomited on her boyfriend's dick while she was giving him a blowjob. Long story short, Otis really fucks up the therapy session, like says a bunch of weird things to her, and she leaves very upset, very pissed, and doesn't pay them. Maeve's like, Otis, get your shit together. Because this was such a disaster, they're trying to figure out like how to build good word of mouth, how to find new clients. Maeve thinks that they should all go to Amy's house party because there are going to be a lot of kids there banging. It's a good environment for them to find people with sex problems. Eric naturally loses his shit because he's so excited. He like wants to be popular, wants to go to this party. He's like stoked. He shows up in this all orange outfit looking some kind of way. Like, I mean, I love all of Eric's outfits. He could never do wrong in my eyes, and I'm a big fan. He's trying to get Otis pumped for the party. Otis is clearly like uncomfortable about parties, doesn't want to go. I just have to shout out to how much I love Otis and Eric's relationship. I think that this male friendship is such an important thing to see in pop culture. It's warm, it's caring, it's funny. There's no shitty toxic masculinity involved. It is so pure. On their way out to the party, they run into Jean and they tell her that like, oh yeah, Otis isn't staying home and watching movies with you. He's going out to this party. And I also have to point out how much I love the fact that Jean doesn't guilt trip him about this. Like, she's a single mom, all up in his business and cares about him a lot. But even when he ditches their plans super last minute, she doesn't like make him feel like shit about it. Amen, mama. She also gives him some really tight advice about doing drugs and wearing condoms.
If you're going to do drugs tonight, remember to buddy up.
Mum.
And look after one another. Let me get you some condoms.
No, thanks, Mum.
She's not like regular mom. She's cool mom. Right, Jean? Then we see Maeve. She's getting ready for the party. She lives in a trailer park, we find out. And then we see her neighbor, who's like the trailer park landlord or owner or something like that. She comes to the door and she kind of like harasses Maeve for money, like the rent. Maeve is paying for her own housing, which kind of makes sense as to why she wants to like push the sex therapy clinic and like make money from people, because she's trying to support herself. Then while she's in the middle of talking to this lady, she just like runs and vomits, and this woman insinuates like, oh, is she pregnant? And at first I was like, bitch, but then I was like, bitch.
How old are you, sweetheart?
12. Wish I knew who the father was.
Otis and Eric show up to the party. They're early. Otis is like, let's go in. Eric is like, we can't go in. We can't be the first ones here. And they end up having like a little fight about it. Eric falls in the dirt and gets like shit all over his orange pants, loses it. And I just have to put the scene in here because again, I love their friendship and I'm obsessed with it. And this is one of my favorite parts.
It's like you pooed yourself.
You will die!
Eric.
Why did you ruin my trousers? What's wrong with you? You will die by fire and by force because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this behavior, man. Hey, Maeve.
Maeve arrives, they go into the party, all is well. Meanwhile, Jean is at home and decides to start like snooping around because, you know, boundary issues. And she goes into Otis's room and sees that he's left his inhaler. Ugh, you just know that this bitch is gonna try to roll up to that party with that inhaler. You just know. At the party, Maeve tasks Otis and Eric both to go out to like different groups of people to find clients, but turns out they're super shit at going to parties because they're low-key lame, aka they're amazing.
That was my shot, you dick.
Sorry. I've seen people do it in films.
Cranberry juice is good for thrush. You know, thrush, it's a vaginal discharge.
I just love them so much. I really did not expect to love the kids in this show as much as I end up like caring about them. They are so endearing. Naturally, because Otis is shit at being at a party, he ends up trying to hide in the bathroom, but while he's in the bathroom, this girl, who's the girl from the first scene, ends up like whipping open the shower curtain because she's like drunk in the bathtub and she's a whole ass mood. I love this girl.
I'm hiding from my boyfriend. Do you want some?
No, thank you.
She sort of starts talking to Otis about like how she broke her boyfriend while they were having sex. And we find out that, you know, she turned the lights out because she has really low self-esteem, hates her body. The boyfriend walks in and Otis ends up giving them some like really stellar sex advice.
I think I have nice hair.
It's so shiny. If you don't like yourself, how are you supposed to believe that Sam does? I wish you could see yourself the way I do. Because you're the best. Guys. I mean, this is great. I think we're making real progress.
It's actually truly beautiful and it warmed my cold dead heart. Meanwhile, Adam, our sexual performance bully from last week, is trying to sneak into Amy's party so that he can win her back. And while he's trying to like climb up on the gate, he ends up falling on Jean's car because of course she's trying to sneak up in there. They end up having a whole conversation, which is again, some of my favorite lines in the whole series.
I don't understand women. She likes me, she doesn't like me.
she wants my giant dick. Sorry, my large penis, and then she doesn't want to speak to me. It's just all very confusing, Mrs. Jean.
Justine, I think if she doesn't want you at her party, it's important that you respect her wishes.
You're so wise. Like an old owl.
This is also a really important conversation because Jean tells Adam that he should respect Amy's wishes, and it's just like, I love the call out to respecting a woman's boundary. When she says no, it means no, and don't fucking do it. While all this is going on, Maeve naturally decides that this is a good opportunity to take her pregnancy test at this house party. Like, okay. And she takes the pregnancy test. Turns out our baby is having a baby. You know, you just really feel for Maeve right now. She's like clearly got zero support system, is trying to handle all of this on her own. So of course she makes the really amazing decision to then immediately go sleep with Jackson. We stand a compartmentalizing queen. After they fuck, it becomes very apparent that Jackson's like trying to date her and Maeve's just like, bitch, no. So you kind of wonder what's going on with her. She's like very guarded, and I kind of just like, you know, want to give her a hug. Eric also eventually finds his stride at this party by trying to teach girls how to give blowjobs using bananas, and it is something else. It culminates in the entire party ending in a cataclysmic shitfest. Everybody's vomiting on each other and is wasted as hell. Maeve tells Otis that they made a big mistake with the whole sex therapy thing, and I'm like, no, you don't understand, he's really good at it. As the party ends and everything fades into the next morning, I have to address the amazing song that is playing during this scene. It is so good. I will be surprised if I don't talk about like one song per episode, because again, the soundtrack to the show is just fabulous.
Be or not to be, to free or not to free, to crawl or not to crawl. Fuck all those perfect people.
Fuck all those perfect people, man. A mood. That morning, Otis and Jean end up having like a pretty intense conversation because of course Otis caught her sneaking up on him, and he's just like, bitch, stay out of my life. And I'm like, my heart hurts for both of you. He ends up going to school, and that really sweet couple from the bathroom ends up passing him a note that says thank you, and they look so happy, and it's like, oh, he did something good. And then all of a sudden he's just bombarded with all of these teens and their sex problems. Boom, the word of mouth thing worked. Now they have all of these clients and the sex therapy clinic is back on. Anyway, so that is Sex Ed episode 2. I would love to know your thoughts on the show in the comments below. Tell me what you like, who you don't like, who your favorite characters are, like who do you identify with, what parts made you cringe the most. Tell me how amazing you think Gillian Anderson's outfits are. Literally anything. I'm dying to know what you guys like are resonating with. And again, yeah, if this keeps up, I will continue vlogging about the rest of the series. Thanks so much for watching. Go check out my other videos, subscribe to my channel. I'll catch you next week. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Subscribe!